weekly writing. And in that writing, they always share it. So before, I would probably share it in like a 2 to 3 person like minor group, but now you have like it's kind of hard to split a group of 8 into halves. So instead, this semester, my biggest change was I encourage all the groups to be full groups. So the mine are about 8 to 6 to 8 a table. And then the whole group shares all of their papers. And especially when I was doing grammar, because my first third of the semester, I'm basically teaching usage, grammar, and style. And in that part of the class, what I ended up doing was I got them to get the best examples of styles from the writing they did for that day, and then they'd put it on the monitor, either using their own software, like their own, hardware. They'd use their own laptops, or they'd use the computer in the classroom, and then we'd share it and we'd critique. Mostly they wrote pretty well, but we'd like save them and we'd critique them and talk about them, and being able to share that to all the tables was pretty useful.
Okay, that's about it.
Let's do the first one, the second one again.
The second,
The first question, the second question, let's do it again, one more time,
one more time.
please.
Okay.
No guarantee my answer will be the
First-
same.
That's okay. All right, the first question was, what do you see as a difference between, what do you see as a difference as you and a teacher the first day of class and today?
Feels like a different question now. So
I know.
I'll answer it though. So the biggest difference between me at the beginning and me now, I'd probably say the 2 things I learned the most was learning bigger group dynamics. This is similar to what we talked about, but using bigger group dynamics in a classroom and controlling it well. And I found the natural space of that, you can almost call it the geography of the classroom, encourages bigger groups to work together, which I really enjoyed. And also for me, I found that I'll call it a fun challenge of the room, because in my previous job I used a lot of tech, like computer labs and iPads for language learning. And the troubleshooting was part of the fun for me, right? Like when something doesn't work 100% every time, like rolling with it and like, okay, this monitor didn't work, how do I change it? Or in this group, they can't figure out the computer, how do I help them and not ignore the other groups? So learning how to like use troubleshooting effectively and looking smooth was part of the fun of the class for me. So, and I definitely changed with that. So.
How long did it take you for your students to feel comfortable?
I would say my students, they all felt comfortable. I'd say like 2 or 3 weeks. It was pretty quick. The first couple weeks, they had that inclination to like orient behind, right? They're like, where do we look? Do we look at the teacher and be polite? Do we look at the projectors? Do we look at our screen? So it took them a couple weeks to like learn what orientation is best. And I would say after about 3 weeks, everybody would the orientation almost became a group orientation. They'd look at each other and the monitor, which I found was much more interactive and fun, because then they are talking about what we're talking about, whispering, and it encouraged them to like work as a group, even during like we'll call it a boring lecture session, they still ended up working together more, and that was pretty interesting.
Can you tell us your name one more time?
All right, my name is Jeffrey Zeiser.
Awesome.
Great.
That's it?
Okay.
That's
You
all
got
the
the course,
questions?
beginning, you'll get the beginning with the course you taught?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, we'll do it one more time.
We can do it one more time.
Yeah,
The
just
name and the course.
Okay.
name and the course and how many students.
All right. I'm Jeffrey Zeiser, and my course is Asian American Studies 100, Composition, and I have 25 students.
Okay.
Good.
Cool.
All right.